Hello, everyone.
Hello again.
Hello.
Hello. And welcome to another episode of
This is the Circle Podcast.
My name is James.
It is your host, Philip.
my name is Daniel.
Like always, I'm here with my best friends.
All right, so today will be a pretty fun episode.
I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, goodbye.
Goodbye, party people.
See ya.
You want to open it up or you want me to open it up?
I'll fucking kick it open and bring it here. Listen, we're missing one host. You know, he just wants to party. He doesn't even want to, fulfill his obligations. I'm just kidding.
And he's not even partying. He's upstairs.
Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of the Circle Podcast. It is only two of us today. James has some dead guy duties to attend to. So it's just me, Andy, and my other co-host, if he wants to introduce himself.
Yeah, my name is Philip. Welcome. Good to see you here. Cheers to you at home. To my co-host, cheers.
Cheers. But yeah, I mean, today is probably we have a couple topics. We have some cool questions that Philip's friends
Yeah, I got to find it.
had asked him about love that we'll eventually answer. And I think through this time, like the past month or so. Well, okay. So the last episode, we hadn't uploaded the last episode.
You know what sucks about that last episode too is like your opening segment was so good,
which is okay. It doesn't have to be shown to the world, because it wasn't so much for the attention. It was just so my friends could hear, what I had to say. But I forgot that. This is a week later. So just to give like a rough summary, last episode, we had decided to play a game called Truth or Drink. We played the game, but things just got a little too much. So we decided just to hold on to that one.
We'd even get drunk from the game. We were just drinking the whole time.
Drinking.
It's
a game
episode.
we had played before. If you would like to see that game being played by us, it's called Truth or Drink, and it's one of the first episodes we did.
It's back there.
One of the first episodes we put on camera.
Yeah, probably.
Also too.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we just got a little too edgy. We here at the Circle Podcast don't have filters.
We don't shy from honesty either.
Yeah, that too.
A lot of honest answers about our sex life.
And all our sex lives are kind of crazy at the moment too. So, we just held on to that episode.
Yeah,
just for a lot of reasons, but
maybe it'll be one of those Patreon episodes we keep talking about.
Yeah, I don't even want it to go on there, to be honest.
Well, at least they have the pay to get to it.
Yeah. But I better be making some cheddar for them, them paying for that shit.
True. It was a good episode, though. It was long.
Yeah, no, it was a good episode. But anyways, just a little bit of backstory of the beginning. I had just been, the past month I had been going through. I still am. I guess like a change, I would say. A change for the better. And also realizing that I hadn't changed as much as I thought I would in the amount of time that I've, had like these drastic, life changes. Like getting out of a relationship, moving out on my own, getting a new job. But I guess I'll just fucking say it. I had done what I have done is a life audit. So it basically just the areas of your life that you want to improve. You just go through it and you realize what you want to improve, and you write down, what is bothering you at the moment. And it's basically just like health, finances, friendships, relationships, home life, etc. So I encourage everyone to, look on the internet and just put how to make a life audit, and really like evaluate your life and what you want to make better. Because I think that eventually leads to happiness. But what made me want to do that was, like a big part of my life was trying to find, my niche and like what I wanted to do with my life. And I felt like that eventually would bring me, true happiness if I found that. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted, to be something that was be a part of something that was bigger than myself, and now that I am a part of something that's could potentially, not potentially, will change the world. I still found myself like not happy, yeah, I had that, but, it still wasn't fulfilling like a part of me that, I thought it would, and so like shit like that really bothers me. And at times like these, I tend to deep dive, and like I tend to write more, and I tend to really try to figure out like the root cause of the problem. And I realized that what I thought would make me so happy, I thought that would spill over into all the other aspects of my life. I'd be like, okay, just if I find this, then I could be a better friend. If I find this, then I could be a better son, brother, you name it, like, lover, but that's not the way things work. I wasn't putting anything into those other things that I just mentioned. And, I was expecting like these results out of that, right? But, you only get out what you put in, and that's exactly what was happening, and that's exactly what's still happening. And all these other areas of my life still weren't fulfilled in what I wanted them to be, which is, I think, the reason why I'm still, trying to be happy and trying to look for that happiness. So, yeah, I would encourage everyone just to, if you're not happy, if you're not 100% happy, it's usually because a lot of those areas in your life aren't, full. I think I can say that I haven't really felt true happiness in my life. And that's not because I can't be happy. That's just because, I just haven't put the effort into changing that. So anyways, I encourage everyone to do the life audit. Being sad isn't cool. Like, I know it's like this trend that's going on. Like, it's not fun. Like, it's not this thing that, and I feel like just people do it just to be edgy, or like they do it just to have some sort of like this like complex thing associated with them. Like, dude, I don't want to be fucking depressed. I don't want to be sad. Like, it's not fun. Like, what I want to feel is true happiness at the end of the day. And, that is truly what I want to achieve and be an example for, like, my kids or just anyone who sees me. Just, I want to radiate this, this happiness. So, yeah, that's basically what was the beginning of last week's episode, but we're not releasing it, so
Yeah.
I'll give it to you again.
The one thing I forgot to say the last time we recorded was that, we have this perception that, happiness is supposed to be this destination that we find eventually when we do all the right things and check the right boxes. But I don't know. I've come to realize that happiness is not a destination. It's not something you find. It's an emotion. Like it comes and goes. It's mountains, it's valleys, and even the best emotions, I feel like too much of it is not good for you. You know, like you can't savor life if you don't experience the lows of it. You need the highs, you need the lows, and there's peaks and there's valleys, but it's not a destination. We're not gonna find this thing and then hold on to it as long as we can because we took so long to find it. It's just it's a hard thing to explain, right? Because like you said, you want to be good at all these things: family, friends, relationship, career, personal hobbies, whatever it may be. But it's hard to juggle all those things when you go bust your ass for 8 hours a day, come home exhausted, and oh shit, I forgot that I had plans with so and so and this and that. It's exhausting.
Yeah. And I say that with I'm not saying that with like this conviction of I'm going to be happy once I reach that, I'm going to be happy forever. That's not what I'm saying. I know that life is filled obviously with lows and highs, and I understand that both go hand in hand. Happiness wouldn't really feel like happiness if you weren't so depressed or if you weren't so sad, right? It wouldn't have that same effect. And that's actually called the happiness hypothesis or happiness theory, is that when you work hard for something, it ends up meaning a lot more to you because you went through those struggles. And I wholeheartedly believe in that. Like even if it's anything in your life, even if it's getting like a degree or if it's getting hey, stop it.
This bitch and eating my headphones.
If it's like achieving like a job promotion, or if it's achieving, an Olympic gold medal, those things are going to mean more to you because you struggled through those things, getting there, and because you went through all these obstacles and you had to jump through hurdles, whether it be emotional hurdles or whether it be like physical. It's just that achievement is just going to mean a lot more to you. It's going to have more meaning, which I would rather things be like, because if things are handed to me, it's just like, well, okay, well, what do I do with this, right? But yeah, like I know that I just want to be at a point where I know that well, I guess I know that now. I guess ultimately what I want to be is a better person who copes, with the sad feelings or with the negative feelings. And I know it may seem like I'm being extremely hard on myself, but I think that's okay for right now. And I know I'm not a piece of shit. I know I'm not like a horrible person. I don't do things with malice or with ill intent. But the one thing I would say that I am is I'm extremely hard on myself with certain things. But I think that's okay at this point in my life because I think everyone kind of needs that. Everyone kind of needs to be hard on themselves just for a little bit.
I was going to say, like, being an adult where you're moved out of where you live, you don't really have a parental figure really like looming over you, watching everything you do or seeing the things you're doing. And then, you may live with your buddies or whatever, but they're not going to be hard on you. Right?
Yeah, no.
So at the end of the day, someone needs to be hard on you. And I think society is moving towards like, oh, don't be so hard on yourself, like life's tough. No, fuck that. Like I myself have been like trying to get to this mentality like I'm a fucking king. you know,
Mhm.
and kings don't be treated like this. And if I want to be a king, I need to like, you know, act like it, but also like I need to struggle. I need to like be hard on myself and say this isn't what you know, a king would fucking do.
Yeah.
You got to be tough on yourself because
Yeah.
no one else is going to do it. No one gives a shit.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I, excuse me. And I think we're kind of like in this, we are in this era of like, I'm glad that we're in this era of realizing how mental health can affect you greatly. You know, but I don't think that, and I understand that there's like clinical depression, right? Something's just wrong.
Mhm.
Like something's just wrong with your brain. Like you're not
Yep.
creating enough dopamine or whatever, or anxiety. People have anxiety disorders. I understand that, but there's got to be like a level of self-help that you have to do. You know, and I don't believe that it's, and I understand that these meds were made for a reason. I understand people need them, but I don't believe that it should be the case where you're on these like meds forever, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be, there's got to be some sort of self-help or like character building that you have to do, you know, in order to, you know, get yourself out of these ruts.
A point in your life where you say enough is enough.
Yeah, where it's got to be like, you know, well, you know, I've felt this way for so long, and it could be a reason just completely out of your control. I understand that. But I think what's in control is how you can cope and how you can make yourself feel.
Yeah.
Right?
What bothers me the most is when, you know, people know they have these things, okay? I will accept that, you know, you've been diagnosed with whatever and you're taking your meds, you're doing whatever. But at that point, you are very conscious of the problems you have, and you still will act in ways that you act oblivious to it, you know?
They make it worse.
Yeah, or like, you know, or you put yourself in situations that will be extremely damaging to yourself, and it's like, well, at that point, you're just being arrogant. You're just being very arrogant to yourself, and you're lying to yourself, because it's like, what's the point of getting medicated or being diagnosed if you're not willing to better yourself in those moments, you know? And that's what bothers me.
Yeah. Yeah, but I know I understand sometimes that, you know, life is hard. You know, life could be very ugly, you know, but at the same time, life, you know, life is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Just like the other day, I was just realizing how hard we don't really have it from, you know, compared to other people. Like there are people living in fucking North Korea right now, and they're fucking hungry.
Yeah.
And there are people in Africa who haven't eaten in a week.
Dude, that's one thing I remind myself all the time. Is like, yeah, things are shitty right now, but I am living much better than most people around this goddamn world.
Yeah. Which obviously, I'm not trying to like
downplay people's problems.
You know, the things that you're going through are the things that you're going through, and I understand that. You know, but there's also someone going through something that's worse.
Definitely, yeah. Your problems are not the worst in the world. That's for sure.
So I think, you know, I understand you have problems, but I also think it's a healthy mindset to also realize that, you know, you can get through it, and also it's not the worst thing that's happening.
Yeah.
In the world. But you know, I don't know. It was just weird, you know, because like I was driving home one day. I'm not driving. I was riding my bike home, and it really, I don't know. It just really clicked that, like, man, there's people living completely different lives right now. Because I saw like a dad, you know, riding a bike down the street with his son, and like they were fucking having fun, right? And then they were like, that was like the moment for them. Like they were just enjoying this moment wholeheartedly.
Like one of those moments both of them will remember.
Exactly. And then like immediately I was like, man, like there are people that would fucking kill for this, right? There were people that would kill to have like these moments.
Yep.
with their dad, or just to have with somebody that they love. And it kind of brought me down that people were living like these completely opposite lives. But at the end of the day, it was just like, man, this is just life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is the life that people are living. And it's not like, you know, it's okay for me to feel sad about it, but it's not that I can really do anything about it. You know, it's just more so that I have to just focus on myself, or, you know, just worry about what's going on in my own life. You know, but at the same time, also appreciate like the beauty around you. And understand that there are like just evil people in the world that will do evil things to other people to make them suffer and whatnot, you know. But and I've always said that, you know, skills that everyone should learn is self-reflection, you know, realizing, you know, where you've done wrong and what you can do better. And also the ability to change, because it's the most adaptable species, you know, that survives. So if you could take anything from me and my nonsense, it would be those two things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, because at the end of the day, like I said, no one gives a shit, but also, like, there's people out there that are waiting for someone to come along and change them, or you know,
waiting for like this glory moment.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's not a way to live. But there's a really good video that I saw today that I'm pretty sure you've seen. It's been around forever, but it was I don't know his name, but it's an Indian guy being interviewed on some show, and he talks about the nose, right?
Mm.
And he says that, like, you know, you can go 3 days without brushing your teeth. And your nose, it's very perceptive, but it won't tell you when your breath stinks.
Mm.
Everyone in the room will know your breath stinks, but you won't. And he uses that as, like, an example, as, like, we're not very keen to our, you know, flaws, you know, or when we have problems and things we need to fix, you know, like that level of keenness, he says, is very important to learn, because you need to understand, you know, what your flaws are and how to fix them.
Yeah.
Because you can go, you know, 30 years of being an asshole and you lose everyone around you.
Yeah.
You know, and then once you're at rock bottom, no one wants to be with you or, you know, show any love to you. That's when you realize it. And at that point, it might be too late. Right?
Yeah, and it hurts. Like, it hurts to see those people who don't realize what they're doing.
Yeah, because you know deep down, like, they're not a terrible person.
Yeah,
they just whatever it may be, they don't act accordingly. Or
it just hurts to see that, you know, that they can't see how they are and they can't change. Yeah. You know, and I've seen examples of that in my family, but I don't know, just being like a sound and coherent person, I see some people, I'm like, man, how are you the way that you are? Like, how do you not see this?
Yeah.
Like, how do you not understand that you're hurting people, or that you're making people feel like lesser of themselves, or like, not even that. Like, how do you just not see and not feel the way that you've lived your own life?
Yeah.
You know? Like, how do you, like, dude, you're evil. Like, come on.
You know, I hung out with someone 2 days ago, and we were having some drinks, and she's like a history major, right? Mm. And you know, because the topic had come up of like Mexicans and Salvadorians and how they hate each other, and for the longest time I didn't understand why, right? And she gave me the history lesson because she knows why.
Oh, I don't even know
right?
why.
Because the U.S. back in the day would pay Mexico to make sure that South Americans wouldn't get through the border. Like, the U.S. would pay Mexico to make sure that to stop them at the border.
Do Central America.
Yeah. And then when Salvadorians made it over here, you know, there's a hatred between them because of it. You know, I didn't know that. You know, but then she like takes me through this whole history lesson, and like there's multiple things that she tells me that I never knew. You know, like, did you know the Chinese were the first like technically illegal people to come to America? Like, well, when America was established, North America.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either, but I learned that day. But she was telling me all these things about history, right? And, by the end of it, I just told her, like, a lot of the problems we have today, like, it's deep-rooted history that we are just arrogant to learn.
Yeah.
On the macro side, that's what it is, right? On the micro side, it's the same way as when we look at people that, like you just said, like, why are you like this?
Yeah.
And the only way we can understand is if we look back at how they were raised, when they were born, like the shit they went through. And that's how we can learn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all this shit. Yeah. It's all this shit that's just deep rooted.
Yeah. And it can go back centuries too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that person's parents might be shitty, but why are their parents shitty, And then it just keeps going back and back and back. And
yeah, but it is almost this, or like this, it is almost as ignorance. Because, I mean, it's also education.
I think you're right about ignorance. Like, it's blind ignorance because you don't even know that you're ignorant, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you don't even know that why you're acting the way that you do. Or, I mean, sometimes it's ignorance as well. It's like you don't even realize that you were raised this way,
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy because, I mean, the way that I was growing up, I didn't grow up with any racism or like my family like talking bad about any race, obviously, because we're good humans.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I love how you said that. We're good humans.
Right? But like, it's just like, I don't understand how it's just crazy to me for me to think that someone obviously, you could grow up that way with parents who are just completely racist. And you end up the same way. Like, it's crazy how it's crazy to me to see people not break out of cycles or like realize that that's wrong.
Yeah. At the same time too though, yes, racism is terrible, right? We want to end it. But can you blame that person that was just born into this world and was thrown into that vicious cycle of this fucking hating another race because of their color?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not blaming them. But it's just crazy to see. Like, I don't know.
Where it is terrible is that they know what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
Right, and they actively continue to do it.
Yeah.
That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
There's a really good episode of Simon Sinek's podcast where he talks to a woman that is a Muslim, right? Mm-hmm. And she has a documentary out where she actually meets with a KKK member, right? And the guy agreed to sit down for 1 hour, right? They ended up sitting there for 4 hours, right? Jeez. Really getting into it, asking him a whole bunch of questions. And by the end of it, he invites her to one of the rallies, right? She gets there, and of course, everyone's like, what the hell are you doing here kind of thing, like, this is for, us only. And then she had to tell them, like, I'm here with so-and-so, like, I was invited, blah, blah. By the end of this documentary, the guy actually decided to leave the Klan. And he was actually one of the leaders of it, or like his chapter or whatever the fuck it is, I don't know. But he decided to leave it, and by the end of it, he left, and he considered her a sister. And that's simply because she just decided to, like, not get offended by what he would say and actually listen to him and get him to understand that, she isn't this person that's brought up in whatever image that he was made to believe that she is,
Yeah, and it's cool to hear because I understand that people aren't stuck in these, like, they aren't stuck who they are. People can change, so it's just like, I don't know. I guess it's just the people that they hang around with and the environment that they're in.
Yeah, definitely.
But
that age-old saying, you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with.
Exactly. I don't know. Because, like, I never, like, I don't hate Salvadorians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
when I heard that, I was like, what?
And I'm Mexican. I like.
Yeah. See, I learned that because when we graduated high school, my dad was working in West Virginia. or he was working in Virginia. I just have West Virginia, that song stuck in my head. But he was working in Virginia, and all our masons for our company are Mexican, right? But when they went there, the guys that would actually like run the concrete pump were Salvadorian. Like apparently, like there's a lot of Salvadorians in Virginia, which is weird. But my dad would tell me stories of like how they would always talk shit to each other, and they don't like each other. And I was like, what? Like. They're all from South America. I don't understand. But that's when I really started to realize that there's a lot of also racism in South America, and they live right next to each other.
Dude, yeah.
And
I don't understand that. Like, we're all part. I mean, every human is, but like specifically Latin America and just Latin countries, we're fucking all part of the same cloth, dude.
Yeah.
Like, some of us are darker than others. I understand that. But like, what the fuck, dude? We're
yeah.
Like, like.
It's I understand in like the Wild West at that point. I get it.
Yeah.
But we're in the modern era, and there's still hatred like that in South America. But even there's like hatred in North America, which you would think would have been rooted out at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I there's a lot of Mexicans, that are like very racist against other Mexicans.
Yeah, we've definitely said that before on the show.
But even to like, there's a lot of Mexicans that just hate black people, dude. Like,
oh, definitely.
And it's
I see it every day because in my industry, like it's dominated by Mexicans, right?
Yeah.
And you can see it because like, oh man, there's instances. But even back to the Salvadorian thing, like my buddy Napoleon, like he's Salvadorian, but because of the hatred for Salvadorians, he says that he's Mexican, right? So we're at work, and the guys actually find out that he's Salvadorian, right? And one of the foremans of the jobs that we're at is Mexican, right? So my dad asks him, like, what do you think of this guy? And the guy actually starts talking shit about him. And Napoleon is nothing short of a hard worker, right? So he starts talking shit about him, and I'm like, Dad, you have to realize Mexicans and Salvadorians do not like each other.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Napoleon doesn't say that he's Salvadorian. Like it's like deep rooted. Like there's a hatred there.
But like, this is what I don't understand. You put Napoleon. Like, you take Napoleon, right, and you put him on a wall, and then you put another Mexican on a wall.
Oh yeah,
like
what the fuck? Shit. Yeah.
Dude, they're both like, you know what I mean? They're both Hispanic.
Yep.
Like what? That's why I don't. And what I don't understand is Hispanics being racist to black people. It's like, dude, we were like, we're both minorities, dude. We're like, we're both at the bottom of the barrel. We're both the scum. Of this fucking, of this white world. Like, I don't understand what.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense for us to be racist to one another. Like, dude, we need to unite, right?
Yeah.
We need to be the fucking, at the top of the world.
I actually read a Reddit post today that said that Hispanics in California are now the majority.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people hate to hear that.
Yeah, definitely. But that's the fact, and America or North America is probably the most domesticated country out there.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me, man. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And I'll probably never understand it, but I have to understand that too. That people live different lives, and mindsets, are formed. And
the crazy part too is, whatever race you are or ethnicity, whatever it may be, like, you come from descendants that have dealt with racism. Like, my grandparents definitely dealt with racism back on the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
And I can see it by the stories that they tell me. But I actively choose to make sure that I don't ever fall into that category of saying some racist slur or anything of the sort, And everyone has that ability to do that.
Yeah. I just think it's one of those things that is morally right or morally wrong.
Yeah.
Like murder or like, I don't know, fucking rape. But it's just, it just doesn't make sense to me, man. it sucks, to see people that don't realize, like I said, that they're being evil. But
Yeah.
but yeah, like I've never hated a fucking Salvadorian, dude. I'm like, dude, oh, we're the same, man. Like,
Dude, it took all the way to the end of high school for me to realize they didn't like each other.
I mean, I like there's like the fucking racial slang, like cerote, like that people will call Salvadorians, and it's basically like, like the N word.
Oh, really?
Yeah, calling Salvadorians that.
Damn, so you just said
Like
the
their-
N word
well,
on
like
the
their,
show, huh?
Their N word. You know what I mean? Like people call them that.
Okay.
Right? And it's like, dude, like I've never seen a Salvadorian. And I'm like, oh, this fucking guy. Like, oh, this guy's breathing my air.
You wouldn't even know, huh?
Like, yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
even know. Like, dude, oh, you're Mexican.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm Mexican too.
Yeah.
Oh, you're Salvadorian? Oh, that's cool. I don't
Yes,
care.
sir.
Like, and it just doesn't. I don't know. That's the problem, dude. Especially with Mexicans and like all the Hispanics. Like, why do we hate each other, man?
Yeah.
Like, even like a lot of the like lighter skinned Mexicans like don't like the native Mexicans. Like the short, darker skin. The ones that come from like central Mexico and stuff. They don't like each other. But I feel like that's just like that. I don't know, that like that superiority, like that European like complex of like hating on them or like, not liking them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because a lot of the southern, and by southern Mexico I mean like Jalisco and like all the fair skin. It's like, dude, like, yeah, they're fair skinned because they intermingled with like Europeans and Spaniards.
Yeah.
But like, it's like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I just don't ever look down on someone. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm fucking right. I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh, you're fucking short and.
Yeah, the way I look at it,
no.
dude, Bill Burr has a good quote. He says, like, we're all eating a shit sandwich. Just because my
Yeah.
bread is a little better than yours doesn't mean I'm not eating a shit sandwich. That's how it is. Like, we're all eating a shit sandwich.
Yeah. But, I mean, anyways. Let's get off this topic of racism. Just bring me down.
And hatred. Yeah.
So, anyways, I know a few of your friends
Yeah.
decided to write some questions or to ask us, right, about love, or for us to answer. Or maybe you can introduce that.
I feel like this is a good one.
Well, do you want to explain this verse?
So a couple weeks ago, I believe we wanted to. Well, it was around the episode. Oh, by the way, if you have questions for us, you should send them to them
Yes.
to what's the email?
Well, we'll do both. We'll do now and then we'll do later.
Wait.
It's Ask Circle Podcast.
Yeah, at
At
gmail.com. Oh, hello.
Oh, this
Aren't
guy.
you supposed to be at a party?
At a party.
Yeah, partying. No?
I'm gonna leave right now.
Oh, okay. Dude, we're like 44 minutes in, brother. You could have been in this.
I was packing this whole time. Hello, world. Hello, world.
Took you 50 minutes to pack for 2 days?
That's our third co-host. If you're new here, his name is James. He's normally here, but he's not here right now.
I'll suck on it and suck on you. Ah, no one can hear you. So people just heard, I'll suck on that and suck on you.
But yeah, that's the email. If you want to send us questions or whatever it may be, we'll answer
Send
it.
us your love problems, dude. Send us your love problems, because I would love to fucking
Give your opinion
you
on it.
horrible advice.
But a couple weeks ago, we had thrown out the email for the first time, and I decided to reach out to some female friends and ask them to give us some love questions to answer on here. And since me and Andy are here, decided to ask them. So here's a good one. To you, Andy, what does it mean to you to be in love?
What does it mean to me?
But you're probably not the right person to ask any question, because you take a minute to really
I just need to
really find that answer.
And it's weird that this only happens with love questions. You know,
I don't know. There's a few questions last week where
Oh, yeah.
it was taking you a minute.
Well, I mean, like,
I'm sure you're gonna ask me like,
I
"Oh,
feel
what
like
does it mean? But what does love mean?"
it's just these questions sometimes to me are like, I understand that they're supposed to be very broad, you know, but it's like my habit to be like, well, you know, like my ideal love or the love that I've experienced. You know what I mean? Like, but
Well, what does the ideal love mean?
I would say the ideal love, or what love means to me, is
Is this like your stereotypical like Disney?
no,
kinda
it's
love?
just mine. Fuck Disney, except for the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But I would say it's two people who come together who can act completely like themselves and not change. In not changing for one another, you know, in hopes that they love you more.
Okay.
Like just completely being yourself, and they love you for that, right? And they like that, and they don't want to change you.
So is this
And you don't want to change them.
Is this your answer to like what being in love is to you?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay.
Just love. I don't know. Loving everything. It's hard. You see, it's hard to describe love without using love, right? Or like your
Oh,
ideal
okay.
love.
Yeah.
That's another problem. Like, but anyways,
You out of here?
Goodbye, world.
just loving.
Drive safe, pal.
Thank you.
drink some-
Traffic's probably gonna suck.
There's no traffic right now. So it's taking an hour and a half to get there.
Oh, okay, that's normal then.
Hour and a half. Hour and a half. You driving like 50 miles
Hey,
an
why
hour?
don't you call tomorrow? Let's just go
Fuck
after
that.
this.
Then I have to go work Sunday. And that's a fucking drag.
Good point.
Oh, you can go.
Hey, oi. What are you doing tonight?
I'm just going to go to a bar. Why?
I might hit you up.
Trying to meet us?
Depending when I'm done. Yeah, I go to San Diego every week, so I'm down. Yeah, I have nothing planned for the night.
What were we talking about?
What it is to be in love.
Oh,
to
love.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just loving the other person for who they are and not wanting to change them.
Mm. You know, I'm along with that. You know, I mean, it's just like, you know, you fell in love with that person for a reason,
Yeah.
right? Of course, they're gonna actively grow as an individual,
Mm.
and that's healthy for them. You know.
Yeah.
And of course, there's times where like they outgrow you or you outgrow them. You know. But there should still be that level of like where two other coming together to decide to be in this relationship where we love each other, you know, but we understand that, you know, we're individuals. We live our own lives, and that's how it's supposed to be. And there's supposed to be personal growth along with that.
Yeah. And I think there's always like this, I don't know, when people hear love, I feel like, excuse me, they feel like it's this perfect thing. But I think being in love isn't always something positive, which is okay. I think being in love also means you having to deal with, you know, like the negatives of love. But, you know, coming out of that and realizing, you know, that you could work through things with another human being, and it's because of love, you know. And it's like dealing with fucking bullshit sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? Like that's also love. And I understand that. Like, and I think I understand that because of, you know, just the things that I went through in my past relationships, sorry. I don't mean to single one out. But it's like, you know, looking back at a certain relationship, it's like, man, I dealt with a lot of shit, you know, but it's because I loved her. You know?
Yeah.
And I wanted to make things work, and I knew that I probably could make things work, and I could change. but it's like it ended anyway, you know. But it
Yeah.
ended, you know, because of love as well, you know. Like I had to learn to number one, love myself, and number two, I had to learn that when to call it quits.
Yeah.
You know, so I think, you know,
Okay.
those are love as well.
Before he leaves, real quick, James. Next Saturday, what time you thinking? You too.
For what?
For what we were planning on.
Our special episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
For number
shit,
100.
that's Saturday.
What do you think, like 8? It's like a solid time, right?
8?
8 p.m.?
Yeah. So it's on Saturday?
Well, let's tell people 7 and they'll
Sunday?
probably show up at 8.
Well, I was thinking 8, so they show up by 9.
Oh, okay. All right.
7 by 8's good. Let's tell them 8. So.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll probably call it that Sunday. So we'll see.
Attaboy.
There you go.
Alright, catch you guys later.
Peace. Yeah,
I could call out tomorrow and go, but I'd have to be back. Well, you have a date anyway, huh?
For tomorrow?
Yeah.
I was
You have a
talking
date
about next
tomorrow?
Saturday.
Oh,
I
don't you have
do.
a date? Well, because aren't you thinking about going?
Yeah.
Ah, no, I got
What does that mean, though?
No, I
I can definitely go tonight and still drive home.
Tonight?
Yeah, and be home tomorrow. Yeah.
Drive there and come home tomorrow?
Or drive home tonight. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's only, dude, I do that drive every week.
Oh, okay.
You know, so.
No, I should probably save call now for next week for our party.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. The struggles of working on the weekend.
Yeah, dude, you got to change that shit.
Dude, I'm fucking trying, okay? Anyways, next question.
Next question. I guess this is kind of a good one. What's the difference of being in love and loving someone?
What's the difference between being in love and loving someone? Well, I mean, like, I love my mom. I'm not in love with. I'm not like
In love with her?
in love with her. Like that difference, or like.
For myself, I would say, you know, there, like when you're in a relationship, you actively choose that person's, you know, like the respect of that person over, you know, I would say a person you love at certain points, right? There's a give and take for certain things. You know?
Yeah.
There's ground that you will stand on and fight for, and there's ground that you're willing to take a step back and realize, like, hey, I'm hurting the person I'm in love with because of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question. What's the difference? Yeah, that's a fucking tough question.
Yeah, I think, well, at the end of the day, it's like obviously what I said, but it's also what you're willing to deal with, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, it's weird that there's, like, these levels, or, like, these different sides of love. Because, or, like, you know, like, family love, or, like, a relationship love. And why is it called the same thing? You know? It's weird. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Because, like, I love my mom and, like, my family, but it's not like I would marry any of them. You know? Should be, like, love version 2. But anyways. But, yeah, it's, like, what you're willing to deal with. Like, because if my mom was, treated me the way that I was treated in a relationship.
You know, that's a good point, too, because there's the point of where, like, you're in love with someone, right? You're like, infatuated at that point,
Yeah.
right? And then there's a point where you guys are with each other for a very long time, and you don't say you're in love with them anymore. You just say, I love this person.
Yeah.
Right? You kind of fall off from that level, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it almost turns into, like, a family love. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like, there's like a plateau of love. Not a plateau.
Like a ceiling.
that might not be the word I'm looking for. There's like this limit for family love, right? There's only like yeah, I love my family. Like, this is what family love is, and then I feel like past that is like relationship love. Like, this is how far I'll go.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, I don't know. After like a period of time, like a relationship love just kind of turns into like family love. Like, right? Well, I mean, you still have like kiss each other, you still have sex with each other, hopefully, but it like turns into this thing where it's like, oh, I live with you now, like, you know. Like,
Yeah, we have kids.
We live
we
around
have a
each
house.
other. This is family love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird that they're called the same thing sometimes.
Yeah, I get you.
But I understand why they're called the same thing. But it's also weird.
Okay, here's a good one. What's the fastest you think you've fallen in love with someone?
Wow. I don't even know, man. I think I would probably say just my last relationship.
And how fast was that?
It was under a year. Yeah, it was definitely under a year. Which is, well, that's another thing. So, like, if you came straight out of the womb, right? Do you automatically love your mom?
Automatically, I don't know.
Is that like a weird concept?
Because I think newborns already come out like knowing their mother's voice, you know.
But yeah, no, I mean, I understand that a baby was like for a mother, right? I understand. I get that you had them inside you for like 9 months, right? You've never met the baby before, though, right? It comes out, and then you love the baby. Like, is that
for a mother? Yes, I totally think so. You carried that thing for 9 months, dude.
Yeah.
You felt that thing kicking against your goddamn kidneys, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, any mother, well, I wouldn't say any, but
what constitutes love then? Like, because that thing, I mean, like, it's a human life. I understand that, but
I think that's very very subjective, like the meaning to life, right? Like, that's very subjective to most people. I think the idea of love is very subjective in that same category. Is like, I decide to give my life meaning. That's my meaning to life, right? My meaning to love is shit. But I would have to dissect that for a second to really figure it out.
Love could be. It also could be very objective, because I feel like any mother who would. Oh, not any mother.
Objective or subjective?
Objective.
Really?
I would say most mothers who have a kid love their baby. Right?
Most, yeah, I would say most.
So, you know, like that's a kind of an objective look on love.
I don't know.
I don't know fucking either, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
What was the question again?
How fast have you fallen in love? What's the fastest you've
I'll
fallen?
just give my opinion and we'll move on, because it seems like, oh, dude, these questions are fucking hard, kind of. My last relationship was definitely the fastest I fell in love. I was in love with her probably within like the first like 2 or 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quick.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I feel like this is kind of a dumb question, because I feel like we're going to say no. Is there a love you regret falling into?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I feel like if you lump the word regret into any sentence, I will say no.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, no, because I am the man I am today because of anything I've experienced in life. And I do not regret that.
Yeah, but I also think that there are some regrets or that didn't make me any better. like spending.
But you damn well wouldn't do it again, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the lesson in it, right?
Exactly.
But it's like, man, do I regret spending $500 at a strip club? Yes.
That's not love, though, dude. That's not love.
Oh, I'm just saying regret in general. It's like, yeah, I regret that, you know.
A good point.
Did it make me a better man? Probably not.
Yeah.
I'll probably do it again.
Shit, we can go tonight. Okay.
I have to pull out a small loan of $1 million.
If you could tell your 15-year-old self something you've learned about love, what would you say?
I would say love yourself first. How cliche that sounds. But
It's honest, though, right? Because
Yeah.
you can't... How can you truly love anyone if you don't love yourself first?
yeah, I think also what I would say is that no one will make you as happy as you can make yourself.
I don't believe in other people making you happy, man.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I think other people will definitely add to it. I think if a person is your only source of happiness, I think there's might be something wrong.
It's a fundamental problem at that point.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you can't love yourself, that means that you're not happy with yourself, and that means you are not the best version of yourself.
Mhm.
You know? So how can someone truly love you if you are not the best person you can be?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's all it's almost like also not realizing the amount of potential that you could give to someone else. Right? It's like if you're not
Yeah.
and I get it, like this is obviously like a building process. This is something that you go through, you know. I mean, this is like a constant process. It's something you go through, you know, for the rest of your life, is becoming a better person than you were yesterday. But yeah, I don't know. It's like the person that I could have given myself to when I was 19 doesn't even compare to the person that I could give to someone now. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you have to want to strive for that potential. And that's been like a fun thing, you know. It's been like it's definitely been a quest. But I think what makes me like excited is, you know, obviously finding a person that I love, but also being, you know, like being a great person to them.
Yeah.
You know? Because I haven't been that in the past. So
Yeah. I have a personal question for you. With your last relationship, was there a point where you were like obsessed with that person? Or has there been any one that, you know, that you are just obsessed with and, you know, you just always want to be around them?
I don't think I was obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
I think I very much like the idea of having a girlfriend, and I've never had that before. Well, like a serious girlfriend, sorry. And like I'm like, it felt good to have a girlfriend. It felt good to have someone to go to, or like, I don't know, to confide in.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it just, you know, over the course of 4 years, it just fell off, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it just turned into something that you know, when it had ended, I didn't even really recognize anymore, and I wanted to hold on to it. But I was holding on to, like, this, like, shell of what I thought it was.
Mm. That was just a question leading to the real question, but never mind.
What was the real question?
Well, I know I've been at that point. In my last 2 relationships, I've been like that, you know, where I'm obsessed with that person. And my question was going to be like, are you afraid that you'll never have that again, of like, being truly obsessed with someone? Because I know I'm like that. I'm definitely afraid that like I will never have that again, because I am too mature in the idea of like not getting too caught up in this idea of what love is and what love is to me. That I act blindly and act like non-logically to whatever scenario I'm in with that person,
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to let my emotions control me constantly like it did before. But that feeling of, just, I don't even know. I guess you could say infatuation, where you're just obsessed with that person. You want to be around them constantly and all that, is addicting, right? It's very addicting.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, because you're not acting in your best interest at those points.
Yeah, I would say I've gone through those like thought cycles of trying to figure out if what I had will ever come back to me again. Not in the form of getting back with my ex, but in another love form. But yeah, because it was like, man, we had a partnership, and this very much could have led to us, like starting a family or getting married. And it did scare me. Just realizing that I don't know if I would ever come and like love someone again, I guess. But I guess what I had to realize is that wasn't the only. That was one aspect of love in my life. What I thought, and I thought, I mean, it was love, but I thought that would be the same love like another girl would give me, right? But that's not true. Like if I meet another girl that's makes me happy and I want to like obviously marry her and make her my girlfriend, it's gonna be something completely different than what I've experienced. And just look like just evidence looking back, none of my relationships were the same, right? Like they all offered me different things, and they weren't the same people. So like it's just like it's that love, and I had to come to. I guess it was like I had to come to terms with it because I wanted that love. It was just like that love will not be the same as my next.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know if I answered the question, but
I don't know either.
What was the question?
Shit, I don't even remember. This tequila has me feeling some kind of way, dude. All right, last question, at least for what I have, unless you want to keep going after. What is something that someone you love could do that would cause you to stop loving them?
Like anyone I love, or like a...
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm a very forgiving person.
I think so too.
I feel like I deal with a lot of shit. Not because I like people to like step all over me, but just because I understand that, like we're fucking human. We make mistakes.
Yeah.
But I think on the ladder of that, I also have to understand that, sometimes people just don't take your feelings into account. And whether they do that maliciously or not is like, I guess the big question.
Yeah.
Because you'll never know whether they're telling you the truth or not. But we're like, I don't know. I think I'm still learning. It's a big lesson, but I'm also still learning whether to not whether, but to take things personally, you know. And I think that's like a big thing. It's like, yeah, someone may do something evil or like something bad to you, but at the end of the day, if you don't let it affect you, like it won't affect you, right? And I think that's kind of like mastering yourself, is whether you let people change the way that you behave, well, the way that you normally behave, or whether they can make you angry or not. You know, I think that's like true mastery of oneself. It's like not letting anything bother you.
Yeah.
Because like even in my life, I don't even know if I've ever been mad or not. Honestly, you know, like I understand people are, you know, people. You know, I understand that people are selfish. You know, it's like the human condition, right? I mean, I would never act that way towards someone, but like, you know, I'm not the staple, or like I'm not the definition of a human, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if we want to take it like further, like if someone I loved killed someone else that I loved, I'd be like, dude, okay, that would be like the line, you know.
That's the line, huh?
It's like, okay, well, something's like wrong here. You're a murderer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, there's obviously certain things like cheating, right? Like if someone I loved, like, obviously cheated on me, someone I loved in a relationship, I guess that wouldn't stop me from loving them, but it would be like the line of where, you know,
things end.
Yeah.
I would agree with you on that. Yeah, because, what was it, 2 relationships ago? I got cheated on twice. And it didn't stop me from loving her, you know. It hurt.
Yeah.
Hard as fuck. But, you know, I didn't stop loving her because of it, but...
But it's funny because, like, that hurt wouldn't come about if you didn't love them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, it's like, yeah, I don't know. There's lines where I would end things in terms of, like, relationships. You know, but I think if you love someone, like, I don't know. I feel like you kind of never stop loving someone.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And I think it's very childish when, you know, we admit those kind of things and people, you know, or our new significant other is like, you know, threatened by that. But the one thing for me, like, to get me to stop loving someone or stop being with them is if they decide to hit me. Oh, fucking, that's like game over for me. Yeah. If you hit me in a non-sexual way, I swear to God, it's over. I will fucking kick you out of wherever we're staying so fucking fast. But yeah, that's a big thing for me.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
I don't like being hit, and I'm very hot-headed when I'm touched in a way that I don't like to be touched. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've had that happen, and like it did set me off. Yeah, so
yeah,
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, because I would never touch my significant other, or even like a person I'm seeing or dating. I would never touch them or hit them in a way that, you know, that was non-consensual or in some kind of way like sexual that they asked me to do, right?
Yeah.
So if you did that to me, oh shit, I would lose my mind.
Yeah, and I think a lot of my I think all of my anger comes from like empathy. It's just realizing that I would never do that to someone, and them doing it to me is kind of just like, dude, what the fuck?
Ah, okay.
You know? Like, and I think that's a lot of where my like anger comes from, or like being, angry with people or like being disappointed?
That's interesting because for me, it's not out of empathy. It's out of the fact that I know that I'm hot-headed, and I know I get that from my dad. My dad was very hot-headed at this age in his life. And I've come to realize that I have a lot of that, his tendency of losing control of his emotion at this age, that I realized like I can't be like that because it got him into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And the one thing I've definitely done over the last year or two is realize how much of my mother I have in me and how much I have of my dad in me. And my short temper comes from my dad.
Got it.
And that's why I, like, in very heated situations, I try to act as calm as possible because I know damn well that I will lose it and I will get in a fight or get arrested or whatever it may be, And it's not out of empathy. That's what I'm saying. You know? Like,
no. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. But I mean, like I was saying earlier, I feel like that's like true mastery of yourself, right? Is not letting you get into situations that would make things worse.
Yeah.
Knowing the way, I mean, people could change obviously, but knowing the way that you are at the moment and not letting it affect you or anyone around you like negatively. And realizing that's wrong.
Yeah. Dude, that's why I know I can't be a foreman or a superintendent right now at work. I just know I can't because there's going to be situations where I run into another foreman, superintendent, general superintendent. They're going to say some shit and my mouth will go off and it's going to become a heated situation. Because that's literally what happened to my dad when he was this age. His mouth got him into trouble and I know my mouth can do that.
Yeah.
There's a certain point in my career where I know damn well my dad was sending me away to other jobs because he was tired of dealing with me. He'll never admit it, but I know damn well that's what he was doing. And he'll say it was for the best of me to learn from other foremen. Bullshit. He was tired of dealing with me because I would question everything that he said because I was a hothead. And at the end of the day, I came to realize it at one point, and he was like, why you got such a smart mouth? And I was like, I get it from you. I realized it, And, yeah, I just come to realize that, like, a lot of the problems that I may have or the things that I'm dealing with are genetic. It's things that I get from my mom or dad, the way I act or how I look at things. It's genetic. And I have to reach that fine point of figuring out who I am and who I want to be. And I don't want to be like that. I've heard of their struggles. I've heard the stories. I know what they've been through. Why would I want to put myself through that?
Yeah, definitely. It's about being a cycle breaker,
Yeah.
There was a good quote that I heard, or it's a good affirmation. And this goes for anybody, but it's just about, but I'm talking about specifically for men at the moment, but obviously you could change the words around, but it's almost like who's the man that you want to be for your son, and it makes you think differently in the terms of, instead of being someone that's influenced by your parents, or like, you know what I mean? And it switches you to being the influencer. And I think that really changes perspectives. It changed the perspective for me, and I think it will change the perspective for a lot of people. Is that now that it's phrased that way, now you are almost directly responsible for someone else acting a certain way, right? And I think it's just a good viewpoint to see from, and it also has you look inside and makes you self-reflect.
Yeah.
And also, if you're a woman, who is the woman that you would want to be for your daughter? Or, vice versa, who is a man I want to be for my daughter? Whatever it is. But yeah, I just think it's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. I agree. But also at the same time, too, there's something I read a couple weeks back that, I want to act like the man that I would want my son to be.
Yeah, that's
like there's one like what you said is being an example for your son, but there's a way that I want my son to be, you know, and that's what I strive for, you know.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, I know one day when I have a son or daughter, I want them to be the best person they can be, you know. So I want to strive for that.
definitely.
At the end of the day, it's all about being a better person.
Yeah. At the end of the day, fuck them kids. Was that the last question?
It was. I don't know if you want to keep going or not.
I think that's a good note to end it on.
Yeah, I agree. We've been recording for a minute.
Oh, cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah. I'm done. But anyways, thank you for listening to another episode of the Circle Podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I think these episodes are necessary, you know. Like I like being funny like 90% of the time, but I think these episodes kind of like bring me down to earth, you know. We're like talking about these things, just talking about being human.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful for these episodes. But also I get to realize how much or how little that I've changed, you know, or like my perspective on things. And just kind of realizing that, you know, I do mature and I do gain different viewpoints and mindsets. So, yeah, thank you for joining. God bless your mother. We'll see you night. And God bless America. Good night.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you being here. Remember, only you can prevent forest fires. Don't let the man get you down. And this is episode 98, which means the next one is 99 coming next Friday that we're going to record it. And then that means Saturday is going to be episode 100, which is going to be a big celebration for us. That's a milestone. If you've been sticking around this long, thank you so goddamn much. We appreciate you. For now, we will see you on the next one.
Also, send us emails, send us questions. Check out our Instagram at thecirclepod_ or thecirclepod. Fuck, I forgot it. Goddamn.
Oh my god.
One of those. No Twitter, just Instagram. Emails, ask the Circle Podcast. Send us some dumb shit. Just send us anything. God damn it.
Ask the Circle Podcast?
Ask Circle Podcast, sorry.
At gmail.com.
No, the. Dude, just send us something. I don't want us to keep seeing Gmail notifications, okay? When I fucking look at this shit. You know, because every now and then I just fucking remember that we made an email specifically for questions, and I'm like excited to check it, and then I check it, and there's only 2 fucking emails in there from fucking Gmail itself saying, should we secure our password or not? I don't care, okay? I just want you guys to send us something.
Anything.
You could just send us and it'd be hilarious. But yeah.
With that, we'll see you on the next one. It's going to be a good one.
We will. Goodbye.
Goodbye.